Hello, everybody. It is Monday. How are you doing tonight? Welcome to Monday. How are you? Tell me about your Monday. What is happening in your world? Hello, Jennifer, in first. First time you've been first in a while. Welcome. Welcome. It is great to have you here tonight. How was your Monday? What are you all grateful for this Monday? Hey, Rick. How are you, Adele? Great to have you all here. Great to have you joining us live this Monday night. Monday night. We got a little snow overnight, a little dusting out there, enough to clean off the cars and do a little bit of driveway cleanup snow this morning. But tell me about your day. Tell me how your Monday went. What happened in your world that you are grateful for this Monday? We had one staff member out to get tested and other staff members stepping up to cover, which was great. That's something I'm grateful for this Monday. That was a nice thing. Hey, Kitty, great to have you here. Hey, Kelly, it was great talking with you earlier. It was great having a chat with you. I feel like I've chatted with so many of you today. It's been a very, very busy phone day today. Very busy phone day, but that's good. That's good. Nothing wrong with that. That's love to be able to help. So I'm glad to be there for you. It is a new year, and you have started it. It is a new year. It is a new book. Hey, Linda, the Linda light is on. Well, yeah, I mean, it was a weird day for customers. We eventually got there today, but it was weird, it was dead early this morning. I mean, earlier in the day, it was just deader than a doornail. I wasn't in store, but I had the cameras up because I knew we were short, and I was taking peeks periodically, and it was a ghost town early, but then they got busy. Then it wasn't. Then they had some people, trickle in, and they nicely bought stuff, which was even better. That is even better when they go shopping. I love when they open their wallets. When they open their wallets, it is a good thing. It is a very good thing. So let's get this party started tonight, because I got stuff that I want to continue to make you think here. I want to continue making you think. We start every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program every single night. Yes, we do. Freezing fog, yuck. We had that a couple weeks ago. We had the snow here, which melted off at our house, but didn't melt off by the stores. It's that time of year. So we start the program with the Good Morning, Good Night book every night. Tonight, if you're following along, we are on page 68. Good morning, you. It's been a minute. My friend likes you. Runs away. Where is this one going? Where is this one going? Hey, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So I've got a story for you tonight to make you think. I've got a story to make you think, because I want you really thinking to start out this year. I really want you thinking and planning and taking control of this year. Okay, I can't stress enough how much that you can take control of this year, that you can stand up. You're not only still standing, but you can stand up and have some control this year. So I have a story that'll help. Hey, Nebraska Angie, how are you? Great to have you with us. So I have a story that will help make you think. And Angie, I know, likes to think. So, I will probably send her off on a tangent with this one. What is the enemy of great? If you want to have a great store, if I said you want to have a great store, what is the enemy of great? Any takers on that one? What is the enemy of great? If you want to have a great store or a great business, what is the enemy of great? Think about that for a second. What is the enemy of great? Any takers on that one tonight? That is my philosophical starting point. Well, that would be apathy, yes. Yes. Well, I'm going to challenge you, okay? I'm going to challenge your mind tonight with good is the enemy of great. And this is from, complacency, apathy, but good is the enemy of great. And this is from Good to Great by Jim Collins. So many of you have read that book. It's a great book. I miss Bonnie's monthly book club. Bonnie always was writing about what book she was reading in the newsletter. Felt like it was our own little Narts book club. But I wanted to read you this excerpt and take it a step further. So good is the enemy of great. And that is one of the key reasons why we have so little that becomes great. We don't have great schools principally because we have good schools. We don't have great government principally because we have good government. Few people attain great lives in large part because it's just so easy to settle for a good life. The vast majority of companies never become great precisely because the vast majority become quite good. And that is their main problem. The point became piercingly clear to me in 1996 when I was having dinner with a group of thought leaders gathered for discussion about organizational performance. Bill Meehan, the managing director of the San Francisco office of McKinsey & Company, leaned over and casually confided, "You know, Jim, we love Built to Last around here. You and your co-author did a fine job on the research and writing. Unfortunately, it's useless." Curious, I asked him to explain. "The companies you wrote about were, for the most part, always great," he said. "They never had to turn themselves from good companies into great companies. They had parents like Dave Packard and George Merck who shaped the character of greatness from early on. But what about the vast majority of companies that wake up partway through life and realize that they're good, but not great?" I now realize that Meehan was exaggerating for effect with his useless comment, but his essential observation was correct, that truly great companies, for the most part, have always been great. And the vast majority of good companies remain just that good, but not great. Indeed, Meehan's comment proved to be an invaluable gift, as it planted the seed of a question that became the basis of this entire book. Namely, can a good company become a great company? And if so, how? Or is the disease of just being good incurable? 5 years after that fateful dinner, we can now say without question that good to great does happen. And we've learned much about the underlying variables that make it happen. Inspired by Bill's challenge, my research team and I embarked on a 5-year research effort, a journey to explore the inner workings of good to great. In essence, we identified companies that made the leap from good results to great results and sustained those results for at least 15 years. We compared those companies to a carefully selected control group of comparison companies that failed to make the leap, or if they did, failed to sustain it. We then compared the good to great companies to the comparison companies to discover the essential and distinguishing factors at work. The good to great examples that made the final cut in the study attained extraordinary results, averaging cumulative stock returns 6.9 times the general market in the 15 years following their transition points. To put that in perspective, General Electric, considered by many to be the best-led company in America at the end of the 20th century, outperformed the market by 2.8 times over the 15 years of 1985 to 2000. Furthermore, if you invested $1 in a mutual fund of the good to great companies in 1965, holding each company at the general market rate until the date of transition, and simultaneously invested $1 in general market stock fund, your $1 in the good to great fund taken out on January 1st, 2000 would have multiplied 471 times compared to 56 times increased in the market. These are remarkable numbers, made all the more remarkable when you consider the fact that they came from companies that had been previously so utterly unremarkable. Hey, Krita, how are you? You know, and there's so much more to this book beyond the title, Good to Great, okay, by Jim Collins. But, you know, good is the enemy of great. Part of what made, Jim's more recent book, is How the Mighty Fall. Great companies that didn't stay focused with things. And, when you get into the book, you come down to a few key tenets. And these are what made each of the good to great companies, the companies that became great and sustained it for at least a period of 15 years. They determined what they could be the best at, even if it wasn't right now. So what can you be the best at? Okay, you don't want to be the best at everything. You can't be the best at everything. But what can you be the best at in serving your customers and serving your customer base, even if you're not the best at it right now today? Okay, that was a key tenet. That was a key tenet in this book. What could you be best at, okay, even if you couldn't be the best at now? Taking a look at things numerically. How do we make more money? Ultimately, companies are about making money. In a retail sense, that can be broken down a different way. In a retail sense, so often it's talked about sales per square foot within your store. And while that's a good measure, okay, a lot of times, and certainly in more normal times, a much better measure is what you get to keep. So what is your profit per square foot? Okay? So focusing on the money. How do you make more money? Well, you increase your profit per square foot, not your sales per square foot. Because if you sell more widgets, okay, than anybody else, and you increase your sales, but you make less on them, it doesn't do you any good if you could have something else there that was making you more per square foot. And lastly, the last key tenet that I would argue here is, what are we passionate about as a company? What are we passionate about as people? What are we passionate about as our company? And if we do those things, if we focus on what can we be the best at, even if you can't be the best at it right now, even if you're not the best at it right now, how do you make more money? How do you make more money? More profit per square foot. As an example, how do you make more? And what are you passionate about? What are you, your team, what are you passionate about? What do you go rip-roaring, carrying the flag of passion about in your business? That helps you go from good to great. And that helps you move from good, which is the enemy of great. Good being the enemy of great. You're good enough. We have a good enough team. We get enough done, it's good enough. You've transitioned so much this year. You have done so many things this year. In this past calendar year, you have done so much to transform. And I want you to leverage that transformation. That transformation you have done not just within your business. It's not just that you have transformed your business. It is you have transformed yourself. Okay? You have transformed your team. You have transformed your leadership. Okay? And I want you to take that. I want you to take that next transformation. That transformation. And I want you to take that transformation to take your business from good to great. I want you to take that passion that you've built up, that you have within you, that you have within your team, that you have within the walls of your store, that you have within your webosphere, and take that from good to great. You've already done so much to transform. Okay, when you look at all your accomplishments in the transformative universe that is you in the last 12 months, you're quite amazing. And you can do this. You can look within yourself now, the self that is you now, that doesn't resemble the person you were last March, last April. Okay? And you can transform that into an amazing, continue that transformation into an amazing business, and truly go from good to great. I've got so many, I'm sticking with the inspiration here right now because I really want you to go with this as we work into the new year. As we work into this year, I really want you to take hold and take control. I want you to dream big, start small, but most of all start. Think about that. Dream big, start small, but most of all start. Take that next step, something I've been encouraging you to do all year long. All year long. I don't know how many of you read the post that Adele made the other day. Adele reposted one of Seth's blogs, okay? And, it spoke to me because I did the exact same thing. So he did a post called 2030. And it's funny because I did the exact same thing recently. And he says, I just installed new smoke detectors in the house. Definitely worth the hassle and low expense. The batteries now last 10 years, which is true. They have 10 years sealed batteries, and that is the life of a smoke detector anyways. Although, granted, in our house we had them 15 years, is my guess, when we previously replaced them, because we replaced them all when we moved in this house. And that's beyond what the fire safety experts recommend. They recommend that you replace them every 10 years. I would argue that they're not a low expense. I mean, the ones we bought were about $50 a piece, so they aren't super cheap. So $50 is $50, but hey. And Seth says there's a little spot on the side of the detector to write the year you installed it. And he goes on to say, I'm wondering what the person, maybe me, who changes the batteries a decade from now will think when they see 2020 written on the side. Whatever happens over the next 10 years, if history is any guide at all, the year we've just finished will be mostly a faded memory. What will matter more than what just happened is what we decide to do with where we are daily, persistently, and generously for the next 3,650 days. Here's the possibility to justice and to betting on the future. Think about that. While all this ink is being spent on the year that was, and all this time and energy and that is being spent on 2020, in 10 years, in 2030, when I have to go change those smoke detectors again if we're still in this house, or the next person has to change them, it'll be a faded memory. What we decide to do today, tomorrow, persistently, what habits we invoke daily, moving forward, will have a greater effect than anything that we have been through on our memory in the last year. And how we drive the world forward, okay, and betting on the future. I'm betting on your future. I'm betting on your store's future. I'm betting on your ability to grow your business, okay? Whatever we do, okay, that's going to be infinitely more important. What you do today, tomorrow, the next day, the next month is going to be more important than what happened in 2020 and how we survive it. And I just thought that was a really good story. So thank you, Adele, for posting that. It just was well done. It really was. It really brought it into focus. For those of you that didn't hear, Pierre Cardin, the French fashion designer, has passed away. His motto, or what they considered him, is, as a designer, he was always considered one step ahead of tomorrow. One step ahead of tomorrow. Okay? And that's why I think, talking about it, I mean, I'm sad to hear such a famed designer has passed, but, none of us are getting out of this alive. And he lived to 98. So and he was buried in a private ceremony in Paris. But one step ahead of tomorrow. How can you be one step ahead of tomorrow in your business? What changes can you make to stay one step ahead? Okay? What planning can you do? What are you going to take control of to stay one step ahead? One. Not 12, not 10, not 5. Just one step ahead of tomorrow. Take that one step. Take out your calendar and take control of it. Take it, let it plan. Okay? I liked this quote. Hey Sylvia, an optimist stays up until midnight to see the new year in. A pessimist stays up to make sure the old year leaves. I thought this was really cool. As a road warrior, I thought this was really cool. The U.S. is now building a giant bike trail that will go coast to coast. Okay, the Rails to Trails Conservancy has launched their cross-country rail trail project, and it will connect existing gaps in trails across states from coast to coast to allow for a trail to go from coast to coast. I mean, having driven so much of this country, and seen so much by road, okay, it is amazing, always amazing to me. But the idea of biking coast to coast, I'm not sure about that. For me personally, I'm not sure my legs could handle it, or my butt on the bike seat. But I think things like that are inspiring. I think things that are inspiring. Hang on, a couple other things here for you tonight. Couple other things. Yeah, now I dropped my pile. To be successful at anything, so this again goes with planning. I've got a lot of planning. I just really want to implement that beyond just a New Year's resolution for you guys. I mean, that's why I'm harping on it so much, because I really want your year to be successful and to know that you are still in control, that you still have control. To be successful at anything, you don't have to be different. You simply have to be what most people aren't, consistent. You know, that is very, very true. In planning, you know, one of the things financially that we have to talk about, because there's always a financial aspect to things, is that this year, over half the states in the country have raised the minimum wage. Okay, most are on track or heading towards $15 from some point lower than that. And so you need to be doing and thinking as you're planning, what will you do when there is a $15 minimum wage? What's more is, what will you do when that wage is indexed to something else? The consumer price index, inflation, some other scale. That is one of the big pushes, is to have the minimum wage indexed to something so that it continually rises with the economy. Hey, Joanne, how are you? And I'm all with that. I mean, I hate the minimum wage. No one wants to earn the minimum wage. Let's be real here. No one wants to earn the minimum wage. Hey, Michelle's in live. Great to have you here, Michelle. No one wants to earn the minimum wage any more than any one employer wants to give the minimum wage. No one wants to say, I pay my people minimum and I expect great work, okay? No, it's a psychological thing more than anything else, okay? It's not it's gotten beyond the amount. It becomes very psychological. So, as part of your planning for 2020, you need to be planning how you can handle an increase in wage. If you're at $10, how would it affect your business if your minimum wage was at 11? If you're at 11, if you were at 13? And 15 is available for those that are. We have a lot of people that are in and around that. And to an extent, when it's artificially risen, when the states artificially raise the wages, it hurts people at the top of your pay scale. But ultimately, you need to prepare your business to sustain it, okay? Because it's coming. So the $15 wage is coming. It is something that is on the Biden administration's radar. Okay, on a national basis. I don't know if they'll get that passed nationally. I certainly don't know if they'll get it indexed. Overall, it is, people will spend it. Okay, that doesn't make it easier to pay on payday, but you got to keep in mind that people at the lower end do spend their money. It does raise other expenses. It raises the price of things, and quite honestly, it would do, I'm hoping that if we got a national wage, one, it would be easier, and two, it would level the playing field across the U.S. So that you couldn't order, especially as things have moved online, that you couldn't order something and get it cheaper from Alabama because their wages are less than they are in the Northeast. So, there is a whole aspect to that. But ultimately, it comes down to how you efficiently run your business. And the lessons you've learned through this pandemic, some of the lessons you've learned to streamline operations, to go without steps, to steps that weren't necessary to the efficiency and greatness of your business. So what can you do to get a higher value? Because there's only ever going to be so much this sweater is worth. Okay, this sweater is only ever going to fetch so much. Regardless if it costs you more to process, costs you more to put the tag on, costs you more to put it out on the shelf. So you need to be looking at ways to increase volume, decrease touches, and increase your sell-through so that you're spending less time with that. Because some of you, especially those of you in lower wage, minimum wage states, you know, if you go from 10 to 15 over a couple of years, that's a big jump. You know, that's 50% jump if you're going from 10 to 15. And you know, the rise of everybody in between. So this is also raising everybody in between, which makes it hard. So it's not just raising the people at the bottom, it's everywhere in between. You can't have somebody that you're paying $16 now when you go to a $15 minimum wage. That $16 person's going to want $20. So, you know, I just want you to have that mindset, okay? You know, the big guys are doing all sorts of things to increase their efficiency. They're adding self-checkouts. They are, you know, the robot floor cleaners, the automated shelf restockers. They're doing all sorts of things to reduce the reliance on low-wage workers because they know that the minimum wage is going up. Many of them have already raised it, okay? But also cut hours because they've used technology to get more efficient. So where can you use technology to be more efficient? Where can you get more efficient in your process? Again, how can you plan your way forward with this? And that is what I want you to have in your mind as you're working this forward, because you have to be planning for this. It is coming. It is coming. And it wouldn't matter if Trump was president. It doesn't matter. It's coming. The horse is out of the gate or out of the barn or whatever saying you want me to use. It is coming, and it is coming your way. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind as we adapt and work towards our goals moving forward this year. Lastly, I had a lot of you today over the weekend on the new PPP and the Employee Retention Tax Credit, the ERTC. I will have more on that this week. We will be talking more about it in detail. I am waiting on a couple technical clarifications. I'm expecting all the new PPP applications and forms to be dropping in the next couple of days. And that will be coming. And we'll be working on the Employee Retention Tax Credit. So one of the things you'll want to be doing is working on your quarterly sales between 2019 and 2020, looking at it by quarter. So have those numbers together so we can talk about it. And get ready for the second PPP if you qualify, if you're at the 25%. Well, Michelle, I won't say that it hurts employment. You know, that goes to the old thing of, you know, what are the people that manufacture buggy whips going to do? You know, or the people that manufactured the buggies. You know, the car manufacturing and the assembly line is going to put all the horse buggy manufacturers and the horse whips guys out of business. And the stagecoach drivers, what are they going to do? So I won't say that there's no work for them, but yes, there were jobs in those stores, there were jobs in those restaurants, in those fast food restaurants. And they may not have been the highest paid jobs, but one of the things I've advocated for, and especially why I've also advocated and continue to advocate for a student wage, okay, student minimum wage, is that you learn a tremendous amount of skills in these jobs, okay? that carry you into other careers. And when you work for a small company, okay, whether you're a retailer, a restaurant, any kind of small company, it doesn't matter what you are. It doesn't matter whether you're a high-tech company. You're typically working closer with the original entrepreneur, and the skill sets you gain are invaluable. I mean, the selling skills that McDonald's teaches. Just take McDonald's, okay? A big company, low-wage jobs. The skills it gives in selling, okay, that no, you don't understand at the time you're doing it, that you're learning to be a better salesperson. Okay, when you say, would you like fries with that? That you're learning how to upsell when you ask, would you like to supersize it? That you're learning about add-on sales when you say, would you like an apple pie with that? At the time you're doing it, you're just like, that's what my boss makes me do. That's what my boss makes me do. Okay, but you are learning invaluable skills that will take you forward into greater careers. Okay? You know, we all didn't start as president of our company. And you teach them everything. And students are going to lose out on a lot of jobs because you can't afford to take the chance on them. So that's a real shame. And with our overscheduled kids, that they don't get the opportunity to learn. And they don't get the opportunity to be a part of something bigger is a shame. And, you know, there's a real push to get a student wage going, that the student isn't supporting a family. I'm not sure it's going to go anywhere in today's political climate, but I'm certainly supportive of it because it goes so much further and it allows for so much. So we'll see where that goes. We'll see where that goes. But so we will definitely be talking more about the employee retention tax credit this week. There's some potentially good news that will open it up to an even wider range of employers to be able to take advantage of that, which would be a really great thing. Because ultimately it's about survival of companies and survival of employers. Okay, so these are good things. Both the PPP and the Employee Retention Tax Credit are. So we will see where those go. This week I will have some updates for you on that. Expecting a whole treasure trove of stuff to drop in the next couple of days so that I can better assist you with both those. And I will keep you posted. If you can, I would avoid filing your 941 quarterly payroll taxes for the fourth quarter, because I think a lot of you are going to be able to check the Employee Retention Tax Credit box. Many of you will be able to and take advantage of that. And so I would delay that. You know, if you're normally, I get it done as soon as the quarter is over, I would wait a couple of days on that because there's some good stuff coming with that. But we'll dig into that deeper this week. A closing thought for you, and that's actually the headline here. I got that on my sheet. Our goals can only be reached through a vehicle of a plan. A plan! That's what I'm talking to you guys about, a plan. In which we must fervently believe. Okay, you have to believe in the plan. And upon which we must vigorously act. You got to act on it. You can't just do it and forget it. You can't set it and forget it. You can't say, I did a business plan, I did a 3-year plan, I did a growth plan. You have to fervently believe in it and vigorously act. There's no other route to success. And that, my friends, is a quote from one Pablo Picasso. Pablo! There you go. Ladies .org/resale strong by noon the next day. Noon! All the files, everything I talk about goes over there. Also over there you have a direct link to the YouTube channel where all these videos reside. You're not alone running this store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when a new one drops. You can also share it with everybody you know in business so we can help everybody get across the finish line. Butcher, baker, candlestick maker, nail salon, hair salon, Pablo Picasso, it doesn't matter what their business is, we want to help them to the other side. narts.org/resalestrong. I am here every night at more 8 than ish live in the Narts private Facebook group. But when you have a question in between, you just email me, Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com. Neil@ECIstores.com is where you find me. We start this program every night. Hey, Patty, great to have you on tonight. It was great talking with you. Every night we start with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program every day. Tonight in the Good Morning, Good Night book, we are on page 68. Good morning, you. It's been a minute. My friend likes you. Our good night tonight is good night, you. It's been a minute. That friend was me. I'm the friend. I like you. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar. Yes, I want to be at that party. When we can party again, I will be there with you live and in person. But until then, know that you, and you, but most importantly you, yes you, I'm talking to you there in the back row. You're not alone running this store. It's time for dessert, everybody. Have a great night.